Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the Tuchel era, England's 2026 World Cup analytical report. We're looking at a brand new era under Thomas Tuchel, and it brings a massive tactical shift to a squad that is frankly carrying the weight of an entire nation. So let's just dive right in and break down exactly what this report reveals.
Now, before we even touch on tactics, we really have to talk about the psychology here. 60. That is the heavy cultural weight this current squad is carrying around. You see, it's been 60 years since their one and only World Cup title, all the way back in 1966, when Sir Alf Ramsey's side beat West Germany. I mean, for 6 entire decades, the nation has been asking, is football finally coming home? And for 6 decades, the answer has been a pretty heartbreaking no. Okay, let's dive right into this timeline. The modern era alone has been totally defined by these agonizing misses that really set the emotional stakes for 2026. Just look back to 1990. We had that deeply emotional semifinal under Bobby Robson that ended in a crushing penalty shootout loss to West Germany. Fast forward to 2018. Gareth Southgate leads this huge resurgence, but they're beaten by Croatia in extra time of the semifinal. And then Qatar 2022. A devastatingly narrow quarterfinal exit against France, punctuated by that rare missed penalty from captain Harry Kane. The talent, it's always been there, but that ultimate knockout punch against elite opposition, it's just been missing.
Which brings us to the Thomas Tuchel revolution. To try and change that history, the FA brought in Tuchel for a complete tactical reset. A really bold pivot to an elite foreign manager who literally has a recent Champions League title under his belt. To truly wrap our heads around this shift, we have to compare the two eras. Under Southgate, England was undeniably successful, right? They reached back-to-back European finals and a World Cup semifinal. But the style, it was cautious, it was structurally reactive. It really prioritized just not losing. Enter Thomas Tuchel. Reports coming out of St. George's Park detail these intensely focused training sessions centered on a fundamentally different identity. This new era is proactive and vertical. It relies heavily on high pressing in the midfield zones and incredibly quick transitions. We are talking about a seismic shift here, going from horizontal control to vertical punishment. And the immediate impact of this tactical gear shift was, by any measure, absolutely flawless. They played 8 qualifying matches and they won all 8. But what's truly staggering here is the 0 goals conceded, a perfectly clean defensive record across the entire campaign. You add to that some incredibly dominant scorelines, like those 5-0 away thrashings of both Serbia and Latvia, and you're looking at a team that isn't just scraping by, they are dominating. That mix of defensive solidity and attacking ruthlessness, it's quickly become Tuchel's calling card. And this brilliantly illustrates the engine behind all that dominance, the 3-2-5 structure. Now, England might line up in a 4-2-3-1 on paper, but in the actual build-up phase, things shift dynamically. The fullbacks, say you've got Reece James on the right and Nico Aureli on the left, they invert right into the central midfield. Meanwhile, the center backs spread out wide. Suddenly, boom, England has 5 players suffocating the opponent in the final third, creating numerical superiority all over the pitch. It's tactically brilliant, for sure, but it demands an incredibly high level of footballing intelligence from those fullbacks to actually pull it off smoothly. Next up, the Three Lions arsenal. We know this system is sophisticated, but a system is only ever as good as the players executing it. So let's analyze the specific weapons Tuchel is bringing to North America.
I mean, this isn't just a collection of good players, it is a literal embarrassment of riches in key areas. You've got a world-class attacking quartet with Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, Jude Bellingham, and Marcus Rashford. Every single one of them has match-winning quality on their own. Right behind them, you have Declan Rice providing this elite midfield screening that actually makes the high press possible. Plus that completely rebuilt defensive solidity we talked about, which didn't give up a single goal in qualifying. And absolutely crucial for England, given their history, they have elite penalty takers. Kane and Saka are among the absolute best from the spot in world football right now. But to be completely fair and objective here, there are some real vulnerabilities. Under Tuchel, they are still largely unproven against true elite opposition. Case in point, a 3-1 home-friendly defeat to 19th-ranked Senegal definitely exposed some cracks. There's also a pretty severe drop-off in squad depth between the starting 11 and the guys on the bench. And that's only been magnified by the highly debated omissions of elite creators like Phil Foden and Cole Palmer. Throw in the grueling, draining heat and humidity of deep summer in cities like Dallas and New York, and the challenges really start to stack up. Moving on to Group L and beyond. Now that we've got a handle on the squad and the tactics, let's take a look at the opponents standing in their way right out of the gate. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is just the sheer statistical gap in this group. It's staggering. England sits very comfortably at 4th in the world. The next closest, that's Croatia at 10th. Then you see a massive drop to Panama at 30th and Ghana all the way down at 72nd. So based purely on the numbers, advancing out of this group isn't just some expectation, it is the absolute bare minimum requirement for Tuchel and his squad. No excuses. And here is how that group stage schedule is gonna play out. They open on June 17th against Croatia down in Dallas. This match carries immense psychological weight. Remember that 2018 semifinal loss? Croatia is this battle-hardened, technically brilliant side with veterans like Luka Modric still pulling the strings. Winning this opener is absolutely vital for setting the momentum for the whole tournament. After that, it's off to Boston on June 23rd to face a very athletic Ghana side, before rounding out the group on June 27th against Panama in New York and New Jersey. And you might remember, Panama is a team England famously thrashed 6-1 back in 2018.
Which brings us to the final verdict. Factoring in all this talent, the new tactics, and that heavy burden of history, how deep can this team realistically go? Objectively speaking, the bookmakers have France and Spain as the absolute favorites to win the whole thing, both sitting at 5-1 odds. But England is right there in the leading pack of contenders, right alongside Argentina and Brazil. The market clearly respects Tuchel's elite game planning. Interestingly though, because of England's historical pattern of struggling against elite opposition in the knockout stages, the bookmakers are predicting their most likely exit points will be the round of 16 or the quarterfinals. It's like the betting markets see all this amazing talent, but they are still haunted by the history. And that brings us to the analytical consensus from our source report. I absolutely love this quote. A genuine semi-final to final contender, rooted in justified confidence rather than wishful thinking. You know, for the first time in a very long time, the optimism isn't just blind national pride talking. Harry Kane's finishing, Declan Rice's dominance in the midfield, and Tuchel's Champions League level tactical adaptability, they provide a genuine, tangible edge. This is a team that is quite literally built for high-stakes knockout football. So, we are left with the ultimate question as we look toward North America. Will Thomas Tuchel's tactical genius, that brilliant 3-2-5 structure, and an attack loaded with global superstars finally be enough to shed 60 years of heartbreak? Or will the grueling heat, squad depth issues, and that heavy psychological burden cause history to repeat itself in the knockout rounds? Whatever happens, England in 2026 is going to be absolute must-watch football. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Definitely keep this tactical breakdown in mind when that very first whistle blows in Dallas.